All right, guys. So we got some news here to share with you guys regarding the Famitsu sales. These are the sales of video games and hardware in Japan, and this will be of the week of, so basically the 1st of December. So that would pretty much include Cyber Monday for this month or whatever, which was after Black Friday. So looks like the sales are pretty good. Metroid Prime 4, I think, is doing decently, and I believe this would only be for the first 3 days that the game has been out. Because don't forget, it came out on the 4th. So this, it's only counting like 3 days here for Metroid Prime 4. I am enjoying Metroid Prime 4, just so you guys know. I'm liking it so far. I got to the part where I was able to unlock the Viola motorcycle. And after that, I ended up encountering this boss fight, which turned out to be a pretty difficult boss fight. I think I got killed maybe 3 times already. So I gotta let my mind recharge before I get back to that. But so far, I am enjoying the game as a Metroid Prime game. It's a very well-made Metroid Prime game, I will say that. But let's just look at these latest Japanese hardware sales from Famitsu real quick. And looks like the Switch 2 is back to, kicking PlayStation's ass. It was already kicking PlayStation's ass anyways, because the fact that Sony's got to lower the price, like they got to slash $150 off of their PS5 console in order to get it to even compete with the Switch. It's pretty damn funny. It just tells you that they're getting their asses kicked. They were the only ones that did any price cutting. They were the only ones that did that. Nintendo didn't do it. Stupid Xbox didn't do it, even though Xbox of all people should be doing that. They should be giving those consoles away for like $100 or something at this point. That would boost Game Pass sales if you ask me. Hey, look, get these Xbox for just $100 and then get Game Pass with it as well. But they're not really smart. They're stupid, and I think they're trying to go out of business, it seems. But yeah, Switch 2 has sold 203,000 consoles in the first week of December. I'm wondering, the Cyber Monday deal that they kind of had going, which wasn't even something promoted by Nintendo. It was basically like retailers like Walmart were selling the Mario Kart World bundle for $50 less or whatever. You got like a $50 discount. The only problem is that you only knew about it when you went to purchase it online, and once you got to the page to see your to submit the order for it, that's when you would see that it was $50 off. So it was like, it wasn't even something that was marketed, promoted, or anything like that. And as a matter of fact, it's not even going on anymore. So I guess that was just a thing that they did on Cyber Monday all the way until now, which is Thursday. So it only lasted a few days, and that was it. But nevertheless, I think it still drove sales of the system anyways. Not sure if they really did that in Japan all that much, but as you guys can see here, it's not just the Switch 2 that's kicking PlayStation 5's ass, it's also just the regular Switch. So Switch OLED sold 24,000, Switch Lite 15,000. Then we get to the Gay Station Digital Edition of the PlayStation 5. That would be 12,000. The regular Switch sold 11,000. Gay Station 5 Pro sold 8,000, and just the regular Gay Station 5 sold 4,000. So as you can see, even just a regular Nintendo Switch, OLED Lite, and all that is absolutely kicking the PlayStation 5's ass. It's also dominating the PlayStation 5. So PlayStation 5 is not only losing to the Switch 2, the brand new console, they are still getting their ass kicked by the older, much more underpowered Switch console that has been out for like 8 years now. So I just find that to be really funny. And people are gonna say, well, that's just Japan. Well, Japan's a very big market. It's a very big gaming market. So Nintendo continues to dominate. Now let's look at the software sales. This is just from last week. Last week, Switch 2 still kicked PlayStation 5's ass. I think the PlayStation 5 just barely outsold the original Switch. So let's get rid of these stupid ads if I can. Man, I hate these dumbass ads. Always getting in the fucking way of the video. Alright. Nintendo Switch 2, #1 game, of course, being Mario Kart World. Again, there's Mario Kart World bundles still, so it is to be expected, but that's still good. 102,435 software sales for Mario Kart World. And then, of course, in second place, thankfully, is Kirby Air Riders with 46,737 copies sold. I don't know, it's like the very first week, they sold almost 200,000 copies of Kirby Air Riders. It was huge. It was massive amount. And then after that, they had a big drop. I'm just wondering if they're like struggling to, you know, keep up with the supply and demand over there in Japan when it comes to Kirby Air Riders, but they need to freaking ramp up on that game because it would seem like more people really want that game. So once again, let me just remind you guys, Mario Kart World is bundled with the Switch. So that explains a lot of its success right now, but Kirby Air Riders is still doing very well, and kind of wish Nintendo would bundle that game, you know? I kind of wish Nintendo would say, you know what, this is a great game, and a lot of stupid people might be missing out on it because they're fucking dumb and they don't know, they just don't know what they're missing out on, so we should bundle this game, and we should promote it, promote the bundle and whatnot, and that might really help push the game. Because look, let me tell you, this is the most fun game you can get is Kirby Air Riders. I'm still playing it. Even when I'm playing Metroid Prime 4 and I get just a little bored, I'll switch over to Kirby Air Riders. And then the only other game I've been playing recently has been Splatoon 3 because it's got a lot of fun modes in that game as well. So yeah, Kirby Air Riders at #2. Pokemon Legends ZA at #3. Then you got Pokemon Legends ZA for the Switch at #4. Octopath Traveler 0 at #5. And look at here, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is at #6, and it's showing that they sold 21,000. Now, mind you, it has only been out since the 4th of December. So since this is looking at the sales from December 1 to December 7, I mean, that's only about, I want to say that's only like 3 days worth right there. Yeah, that's only like a few days, right? That it's showing. So this is 3 days worth for the Metroid Prime 4 game. So you got like another 4 days that's missing there, right? Like it's not the full week. First week for Metroid Prime 4. It's only just here's 3 days. Here's how well it did in 3 days, 21,000. For 3 days in Japan, I'm gonna assume that's not too bad. That's probably pretty good. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it does in the long run. I hope it does well. I really do. I want the games to do well because I want all Nintendo first party games to do well. That being said, you know, they should have added multiplayer. They should have added many more modes to the game. The ability to play as Silex would have been freaking awesome. They should have done all these other cool epic things, and that might keep the game from reaching its true potential when it comes to sales and popularity. But nevertheless, I'm having fun with it, and I do hope it does really well. Most of the people hating on it are full of shit. They're not really Metroid fans. They'll pretend to be Metroid fans just like they'll pretend to be Nintendo fans. It's just a shit on it. So yeah, looks like Nintendo continues to dominate. I mean, there's only one PlayStation 5 game in the top 10 at #8. That's Octopath Traveler 0, and it sold 19,000 copies. And right before it, Octopath Traveler 0 for the Nintendo Switch 2 sold 18,000. Now keep in mind that they still have a really big install base for the PlayStation 5, in Japan compared to the Nintendo Switch 2. So I'm wondering, I'm guessing there's not an Octopath Traveler 0 for the regular Switch. Because if there was, it would have fucking destroyed the PlayStation 5 version by a mile, right? So Nintendo Switch 2, so far it only has about 3 million consoles in Japan versus PlayStation 5, which has about 7 million, right? So yeah, Octopath Traveler 0, new game, it was only able to sell like 1,500 copies more on the PS5 versus the Nintendo Switch 2, even though they have like 7 million consoles sold over there versus the Nintendo Switch 2, which so far has only 3 million. So that kind of says a lot about how powerful the Nintendo Switch 2 is over there in Japan. And who knows, maybe next week it'll be selling better for the Switch 2 than on the PS5. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think about this.